Hey everybody, it's your girl Bunny. To all of my returning subscribers, hey, how you doing? And for those of you who are new to the channel, welcome. Kick your feet up, subscribe to this family-friendly channel, and don't forget to click the notification bell so you don't miss any posts. Also follow me on Instagram at the same profile name, officialbunne_e. Now let's get to the recap. It's another beautiful day at the resort. We have some people on the resort getting their workout on, stretching, exercising, having some laughs. And we do see a little breakfast with Simone, Rasheed, Adriana, and Edwin. And they're all talking about how it's just very odd after Chris was eliminated. And Simone makes a production clip in saying that it's really odd how Chris leaving and Naya was just turned off by one statement that he made, and maybe it wasn't true love or a true connection in the first place. And Rasheed agrees with her and says that it's offsetting it had to end like that. And from my understanding, that's the only true connection that she had. And Edwin even adds his little notes in saying that yeah, it was kind of odd for me for her to be so into Chris and then all of a sudden just kind of turn and show a little bit of interest in me. I mean, we did have breakfast before that, but just completely turning it off from Chris was just a little bit offsetting and weird. I gotta agree with you. Edwin doesn't tell anybody about the kiss, but he does mention that he has some interest with Naya and Joy, and he still needs time to get to know them both. Tommy gets together with the fellas, and everybody's cool, calm, and relaxed because they really got to talk about some really important stuff. And Tommy reminds the fellas that, look, now it's time for the men here to really go in when we talk about who you're connecting with, who you're going to decide to spend more time with, because this week, fellas, one woman has to be eliminated. You've got to show this deeper side of yourselves and make sure that you observe their reactions, because their reactions are going to give you more insight of who you're connecting with. Naya and Edwin speak together by fire, and Naya mentions that, hey, after Chris left, I'm telling Joy that, hey, you got to get in contact with Chris for me because he was going to help me with this podcast thing and to get that going. And she informed me that he deactivated his page. And Edwin is like, well, I mean, I can understand that because he got eliminated and maybe he just needs a minute to clear his mind and get away from social media for a while. And then again, it might be a little embarrassing. And Naya makes a production note that Edwin is what she's looking for. He's stable. He handled his business. When it comes to finance, he's saying all of the things that she wants to hear. And she says, Edwin looks good for now on paper. She even asks Edwin what size shoes he wears, and blushing, he says a 10 and a half. Jay makes a production note that, hey, I have Joy on one side and Winter on the other side. He feels that he needs to nurture each person as if they were a garden, as if they were a plant. And I don't know a true potential of someone or a situation unless I nurture it. So he sits down with Winter. And Winter says, you know what? You've expressed how you feel, and it's evident that Joy is your first pick. So let's just be real. I mean, what are your true intentions with me? We're sitting here talking. Are we trying to keep developing something? I'm just confused. She does understand that they are still dating one another, but emphasizes, hey, if you want me or if you want more time, you have to make it known that you want more time. If I'm talking to someone and you want to break up that conversation because you want more time with me, then you fight for me, and she's making it very evident that, hey, you got to make it known that you really want to get to know me more. And she would love that initiative from a man. Winter also makes a production note that she's keeping her options open, and she's got to be honest because Jay made his points very clear how Joy was his number one pick. Calfani and Adriana have fun. They're playing a competitive game of checkers, and while doing so, Rasheed walks by, and Rasheed makes his production note in saying that, hey, I mean, she's said that I'm her number one pick, but at the same time, she's all up on Calfani. Then again, When I see her with Calfani, it kind of makes me a little jealous, but I got to understand this process. He can't let his feelings get the best of him, so he wants to keep his options open. A few people share some laughs while Alex and Brian break away just to talk, and Alex can't pinpoint why her energy and feelings have changed, but it's something. Even Brian knows something is off. And Alex says after talking with her friend, she doesn't know if she's really being guarded by the entire situation or she's just not having a true connection with Brian anymore. And Brian asks, hey, should I fall back some, when it comes to getting to know each other? Should we just stop? And Alex says, no. It's just a lot going on in my head. If it's infatuation, are we getting along? Am I guarded? And also, I was in an abusive relationship for 3 years. So I need to evaluate my feelings and what's going on. And Brian says, trying to make some fun or joke around, well, if it's paralysis by analysis, then. And Alex is like, wait, what? What does that mean? And Alex makes a production note I don't like the fact that I shared something so personal with him and it was difficult for me to share that. And he's making jokes about it and kind of throwing it under the rug, not placing emphasis on what I just said. And he just I don't like that energy. I don't like that vibe. I don't like the fact that I can't have a really deep conversation with you. Brian says, well, we are still trying to figure things out. And I still really don't know you like that, but all we can do is just keep learning and growing. Alex is not impressed by what he's saying, and she's saying, hey, he's not a good listener, and he just can't take the time out to just see who I am really. Adriana and Calfani are still chilling outside having small talk, and Adriana says, I don't understand. You seem to be this great guy. Why are you still single? And Calfani says, I just can't find the right relationship with the right person. Things will go great, we'll get along, and then over time, you get to see people's true colors, and just things don't turn out that great. And as they're talking, Denise walks by and she's giving those little motions and shaking her head and looking at him and she makes a production note that, hey, it's hard for me to see the guy that I'm really digging and I'm really feeling all hugged up with somebody else. But she also thinks that Adriana is trying to get under her skin, trying to be all up under him. And she says, you said why she was your man early on, and now you're talking to Calfani and you look like you unstable and everyone here is ready to love. What are you doing? But of course, this is a production note that she's saying. She's not saying it to them. Calfani sees how upset she is and tells Adriana, she's already had so much time with me and I have to get to know other people and see what's real. And if we have the connection that we have, if that's real. Denise walks by again towards them in their date and tells them, keep it cute. Y'all are so messy. And you could just tell she's just giving off these energies that she's just so upset. Calfani says to production that, hey, these insecurities and her giving off the notions that she's jealous, it's a turnoff. And I don't like those vibes. I don't like drama in my life. I'm not about that life. And she's going to lock herself out of this box if she keeps behaving that way. Cal thinks that he needs to go speak with Denise face to face. So he goes to her room, knocks on the door just to see if he can speak with her. And Denise says that she's bothered about him chilling with some other woman. And Calfani says, look, baby, when you date other people, I'm not all up under you because I understand the process and you're trying to get to know everybody. So why can't it be the other way around? You should have enough confidence to know that you left such a great impact on me that when I'm talking to somebody else, that it doesn't even matter. But I'm not a mind reader. You can't walk around feeling some type of way. And she's like, well, I'm not supposed to show you my emotions. I'm not supposed to display how I really feel. And he's like, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is you have to understand that this is just the process. The next day, I thought Miss Denise was sparking up a blunt, but it was some sage that she was rolling up and putting the smoke all over her. And Jay and Winter, they're taking a walk and they see her from afar. And Winter's just like, so you saging yourself, huh? Denise is like, I'm saging everything, girl, and everyone back there. Simone feels that she's more vulnerable and now she's open and wants to talk to Rasheed. And she feels that she needs to say what she wants. She needs to get in the habit of expecting people to know what she wants all the time. She talks with Rasheed and she says, I really like you and I want to date with you. And Rasheed is really surprised and flattered at the same time. And he's open to the date as well. And he told her, well, I was going to ask you on a date, but I just didn't know how to approach you and I just didn't know what to say. This entire time, I'm thinking, there you go, Simone. Turn on the meow mix. Let them know, girl. Use your voice. Rasheed is just like, wow, like, this is really exciting. And Rasheed makes a note that Adriana was so consumed by Calfani now that I need to branch myself out. And now is a perfect opportunity. They're both so excited that they hug. And when Simone walks off, Rasheed is like, yes, like, doing the Napoleon Dynamite. Yes. Edwin wants to find out if he has some connections with Joy. They share some vibes, but he just needs to make sure that they can enjoy this activity and do some yoga. And when she arrives looking like Leroy from Fame, Edwin wants to do some tantric yoga. Ooh, uh-oh. And Joy makes a production note that I'm very, very familiar with tantric yoga. And if it gets too freaky for me, then I'm going back to my room. Edwin is showing her all of these poses and he's just like, oh, this pose, with you leaning on my back is basically letting me know that these heavy burdens you may have, that I'll be able to bear it and that I got your back. And Edwin is happy that she's open to letting him touch her because this opens up another level of intimacy. And Joy is loving every moment and feels that he's got a lot of cool points by being so romantic. And he even asks for a little kiss on the cheek, and she gives him one after a very romantic, intimate date. Brian wants to switch it up a little bit by going on a date with Adriana and Calfani, but he wants to take out Winter. And they go for a little date on a tiki boat ride. And Cal and his huge mouth is having fun. And Brian feels that he didn't get to spend more time with the other ladies because he was consumed by Alex. And Winter is giving Brian a side eye because she thought that, hey, I thought him and Alex were having something going and I feel uncomfortable with being here. She wants to know, am I a distraction or are you really trying to get to know me? And Brian says that he wants to get to know her. He's always had his eyes on her and how she's shaped and her haircut and her smile, but she's really not going for it. Calfani says that he loves Adriana's positive energy, smile, her personality, everything's so bubbly, and her outlooks on life. And Brian is saying that everything that he likes about Winter, she notices is physical. And she's just not feeling it. She just feels like she's there on this boat ride with everybody else. Joy and Jay talk about how they shared laughs, and she even makes some jokes that, hey, you look like Mayweather Diggs, a mixture of Tay Diggs and Floyd Mayweather. And they share some laughs, and he says, well, I can see that. Okay. Naya can't wait to get her claws on Edwin, and Edwin is aware that she wants to change her mind, and the fact that it's so quickly still makes him feel a little uncomfortable, and he sees it as a red flag. He tells her that she has pretty eyes and that the pretty eyes look like cat eyes, and she says, well, they got a match. I got kitty eyes and I got a pretty kitty. And it makes Edwin so uncomfortable that he does this as a laugh like, all right, girl. All right. You said pretty kitty. Okay. Rasheed has made a nice picnic dinner by the lake for Simone. Flower petals, wine, it's by the lake. He is setting the entire mood. And Simone is just so impressed, like, wow, this is so great. It's pretty. You got the wine. And Rasheed makes the production note that I love luxury cars. I love throwback cars, everything. So I figured, hey, what a great scene to just set this up and just kind of talk and do our thing. And Simone really wants to know, I just want to ask you a good question. Like, what do you think was your first failure and how did you think you handled it? And Rasheed says, when I was younger, I was a slow reader. I had a lot of trouble reading. And it was so bad that they even placed me in a special ed class. And it was so embarrassing. And I felt like a failure, but his mom wouldn't take that as the definite answer for his life. She wanted to make sure that he went to college. So he went to college, he succeeded, he graduated with honors. And from that point on, unfortunately, he felt that he was just having something to prove to everybody. Everything that he did, he had to just exceed so well because he had to prove people wrong. And this brings a smile to Simone's face because she shared a similar story, that she always feels that she has to prove people wrong. And of course, her dad was her biggest critique of it all. So he felt that that was something that it was a failure with him being a slow reader and having trouble reading as a kid, but he conquered that and he excelled well. Simone also asked him, how do you feel about who should make the first move? And Rasheed says, I'm not going to lie, I'm a traditional guy. We are the hunters. We learn early that what we want, we go and we seek it and we get it. We learn to come after you. But men honestly get tired of doing that all the time. And when you ask me out on a date, it was amazing. Like, I thought that was pretty cool. And Simone is just like, well, hunt me, baby. I like that. And Rasheed says, you asked me out on a date, but then I noticed that you backed away and then you went about your day and did other things. So that told me that I could handle the rest from there. And you let me handle it. She's like, well, you handled it well. And they just are really vibing. And they even share a nice kiss. Rasheed feels that Adriana is still looking at him as the first pick, but Simone is definitely getting some cool points with him. So he has to make sure that he gets to know her just a little bit more because he just really, really digging the date. Later on that night, everybody's kicking it, having dinner, and someone mentions, you know what, we had to have like a freestyle battle. Everybody just get their little freestyle on. And in typical Texas fashion, you had that basic beat, that everybody talking about, a little chop and screw, Swisher House, and everybody's like, who gonna go first? Who gonna go first? Who gonna first? And someone like, Old Cliff, educated, Ivy League, educated, pulled up, some, don't step to me because you'll get annihilated. And everybody's like, okay. Then Calfani, he took it up a notch. He was like, nah, I gotta take it to H-Town. He was like, we bow till we foul, go to the mall, get it all, y'all. It's so plagious, girl, she contagious, looking at despair, everybody like, that he's to that H-Town flow. And I'm even on my couch like, Swisher House, somebody chop screw it, and they all like, but it was just a really cute scene because it was just beautiful to see the H-Town come out. Everybody just have fun and everybody was feeling the H-Town flow. So it was a cute scene. I liked it. After everybody calmed down a little bit, you got Calfani and Adriana. They go to the city deciding to talk. And Adriana's just like, oh my gosh, when you were flowing, if you just saw another side of you, I just thought that was so cool. And he was like, oh, you like that? You like how I flowed and everything? She's like, yeah, I like that. I thought that was so nice. And then they get a little closer and they share a very passionate kiss. It lasted a couple of seconds. I'm like, okay, that's not just a little peck. They was really kissing. So then you got Winter and Anthony. They're hanging out. She makes a little jokes like, oh, you got some thick thighs, boy. You got them shorts on. He was like, yeah, they are kind of hugging, huh? She's like, yeah, they hugging, but I like what I see. And they just want to take some time to just walk around and just get to know each other a little bit more. And they start to chit chat. And Winter says, my marriage was shaky because my husband, he cheated on me 3 weeks after we got married. He wasn't ready to be married. Like, clearly, if you do something like that. And after he had done such a thing, I didn't feel secure in my marriage. I just want to be secure. I want to feel that secure feeling and not have to worry about, is this person still dealing with things and battling with living a single life? Are they really ready for a commitment? Rasheed and Alex play a little shot clock basketball because Alex wants to get to know Rasheed a little bit more. And they're joking. And she's like, wait a minute, that's no fair. You got this big advantage. You're so tall. He's like, oh no, you got this, girl. You got it. So as they begin to throw the balls and laugh how Alex is just hitting nothing but rim and the backboard, they really get to start talking and getting to know one another. And she says that to production that she spent so much time with Brian, and she's just sad that she didn't get to know everybody else. And is it too late to start knowing the other guys? And she's just upset with herself at this point. But then they just continue to talk. Alex wants to know, what's the hardest thing that you had to deal with? And he's just like, my father dying at 57. And she's like, man, that's young. He's like, yeah, that's young. I was just finishing college and he wasn't able to go to graduation. He was very ill, and then later on, he continued on with hospice until he later passed away. And Alex is just like, wow, I mean, I'm sorry to hear that. And he's like, yeah, it was rough, but he was very proud of me, and he made it known that he was very proud of me before I graduated. So yeah, he was a good dad. And Alex says, my mom got in a bad car wreck, and she was never the same after that. My dad is my mom's permanent caretaker. And Rasheed says, oh, I'm sorry to hear that. And I could just only imagine, of course, seeing your dad take care of your mom. That would hinder in your mind of something that you're looking for. It reflects on how you date and what kind of man that you would want. It's beautiful that he's taking care of her, though. And Alex is just like, yeah. And she's impressed on how Rasheed listens to her and how open he is. And now Alex is interested in getting to know Rasheed as well. Tommy meets with the guys, and now it's elimination time. They have to make notes about who they're connecting with and who has to go. One woman has to be eliminated. But first, he wants to know some information about who the guys are feeling, since one woman has to go. And he says to Brian, so what's going on with you and Alex? Are things stronger? Are they weaker? And Brian says, it's streaker, stronger and weaker. And Tommy's like, that is some BS. You didn't answer the question. Whatever is going on, do you feel like it can be fixed? And Brian is just like, well, yeah, I believe so. And Tommy's just like, well, on that note, did anybody else have a connection with Alex? And Rasheed said, well, yeah, I mean, she's very sweet. I had a chance to get to know her a little bit, and I learned that her mom was in a bad car wreck, and her dad is giving her pretty much 24-hour care. And the way he cares for her and loves her, it resonated with her, what she's looking for in a man. And Tommy's just like, wow. Brian, did you know that about Alex? And Brian's like, no. And Tommy says, you've been listening to her. You can hear, but are you listening? There's a big difference. Are you listening to her? And Brian has no response. So Tommy says to Edwin, who are you feeling, man? And Edwin says, well, Joy is the love of my life. And everyone just burst out laughing like, uh-oh, Jay. It almost makes Jay spit out his drink like, uh-oh. And everybody's just like, oh, man, he feeling joy. What's up, man? But they share a little laugh because they understand the process. Calfani talks about how Adriana and him are getting more of a connection, and Jay feels like he's getting closer to Winter, but so is Anthony. Rasheed also talks about how him and Simone are starting to connect, but feels that he needs another week with her to feel if there's something more. Now, Tommy wants to know about Naya because it was strange how she went completely from Chris in another direction. And Rasheed was just saying, from my understanding, she was pleased within one moment and then displeased based upon one statement that he made. And it didn't seem right to just drastically change like that and just talk about the guy like you didn't like him in the first place. And Tommy says, yeah, she cut him to the white meat. You know what I'm saying? And everybody started laughing. And Edwin is just like, it's a red flag to me. And it doesn't feel right. And Anthony says, Denise, I'm still feeling her. Calfani is still feeling Denise as well. But he says, I've learned that she's very jealous and territorial. And I can't deal with someone like that. So it makes me kind of question her personality and how she handles things. So now it is time for elimination. Jay and Denise have a sit down, and he tries to explain to her When the guys talked, Calfani mentioned that he felt you're very territorial and jealous. Like every time he sits down to speak with another woman, you're all on him, and he kind of grabs her leg like you're mine. And it made him feel unsure because he wants to be able to breathe. And Denise says, I get it. I'm too territorial and I need to not come off as jealous when he's around other women, right? And Jay's like, yeah, exactly. He's saying that he wants to be able to feel like he's not smothered and that you understand this process. And we all talked about it. And we agreed that you're ready to love and we want you to stay. And Denise is like, yes, I'm gonna stay. I'm glad. I need to reevaluate how I'm acting and behaving. I'll get it right. So I'm happy about that. We then have in the final scene, you guys, Rasheed speaking with Naya. And he says, when the guys talked, we mentioned how you were so into Chris, but unfortunately Chris said something that didn't match for you, talking about, splitting finances, and it's something you didn't agree with, and your entire vibe just changed. I mean, it was totally different. And him mentioning he was going to split the finances, you were upset. And she's like, yeah. When he was talking about splitting everything, then that means meant me splitting from him. I'm not having a conversation with a grown man about finances who wants to split everything. I mean, maybe he felt, he had one of the baddest chicks here and he felt some type of way, I guess. He may have been mesmerized. I don't know. And Rasheed says, well, unfortunately, you made impressions that were lasting that we didn't like. And they weren't good. So all of the guys agreed that you're not ready. And before he could finish his sentence, honey, Naya got up with the quickness and started to storm off and says, oh, you can tell the rest of that to the couch. But that'll be messed up on your behalf. And she is going fast. I mean, she is getting up. I mean, Rasheed got this face like, did she really just get up and leave and like that? And production is just like, look, we don't want you to leave like this. We need to talk to you. And they can't even try to get to her. I mean, she's walking off. She's like, no, because y'all not going to embarrass me. And she's like, she said to production, I didn't even like this process. And it was great for everybody else to get to know me. But production is just like, look. We just want to talk to you. We don't want you to walk off like this. We don't want to set the tone. We need you to have a minute to make some production notes. And she's like, no. I have a boyfriend. And production's just like, wait, what? She's like, I have so many prospects waiting for me. I put that to the side to see if I could come here, meet some people to see if it's real. I'm a prize and I make the decisions based on me. And she's just like, it is what it is. And it's just this wow factor of, Naya, girl, why you storming off like that? And Rasheed literally is on the couch like, this is a mess, man. And he's just like saying, with some comedy, talking to a couch like, well, we decided you're not ready to love. And that is the end of the episode.
Okay, y'all. So I have been saying from the very beginning that Rasheed, Edwin, and David were the top guys that I thought were going to make it to the end that made the most sense. Now, David is gone because he's been eliminated, but we got Edwin and Rasheed with everybody on their lap. I told y'all. Only thing I said was Edwin was just a little long-winded. If we were a couple, I'd be like, baby, all I asked you was how your day was today. You've been talking for 2 hours. Your day was good? Okay. That's how Edwin would be. And Rasheed, first impressions, I said that he may have his little dorky little statements and stuff because you can tell that he's a little shy and he slowly starts to loosen up when he starts to get to know everybody. But other than that, he seemed like a really great dude. And I was right about that. And David, if they would have kept him around, would realize that, hey, he's a straight shooter. He doesn't beat around the bush. And he said what he said. Like, he was just really straightforward, and I don't think that they were ready for somebody that real to be at the resort. Now, Edwin, brother, when you got Joy outside and you was doing that yoga with her, there's no way that could have been me. I would have been all types of pregnant. Not pregnant, Pregnant. You telling me to sit on your lap and stretch and lean on your back and stuff like that? Boy, you talk about you wrong for that, brother. And joy, girl, you talking about, oh, if it get too freaky, I'm going back to my room. Girl, please step aside. If you don't know what you're doing, step to the side. It's broad daylight. This man just talking about stretching and connecting, and you are like, if it get too freaky, girl, move to the side and let somebody who grew up riding horses show you what to do. Girl, move, go somewhere, get a whole shake. Move to the side, girlfriend. Go back to the room because Edwin trying to stretch and connect. Girl, all the women there, y'all would know a good man if it was right in your face. I'm glad that y'all seeing it now. But, Edwin, he can talk to you, cook you a little something, stretch you out and put you right to sleep. Something wrong with y'all. Y'all not seeing that? Then you got Rasheed. Y'all talking about, I want somebody tall, I want somebody this, but y'all are not understanding and talking to these men. And they were the only men that were really sitting and listening to everyone because they were for real. Now y'all stuck. Oh, I talked to somebody this long, I ain't get to know nobody else. And now y'all compete. Now y'all look crazy. Couldn't have been me. No. Is it me, or does Winter and Joy get the Miss Congeniality award? Joy got Messy Boots and Miss Congeniality, and Miss Winter got Miss Congeniality. I like them a lot, but they just seem like they getting along with people. They really not connecting with anybody. Winter, I think she's really there to connect with someone, but I think the gentlemen that are there is really not for her. Joy, she cracking jokes with Jay, and he like ha, and y'all getting little pecks on the cheek like y'all 12 and stuff like that. Y'all really not connecting. I think y'all just getting along with some fellas. Y'all making it to the end, so y'all gonna be on their reunion show. But it's really not anybody that y'all just really just goo-goo-eyed and just falling over. Like, I don't see that. I really think that Simone found something interesting in Rasheed because he's a great catch. But is it too late? I honestly think that if it was a round 2, if it was another season, that they would get along maybe with another group of men. I don't think that the men that are there are really connecting with Joy, Simone, and Winter as they should be, because those are some great women. It's just that the people that are there really aren't clicking. Anthony and Brian, y'all can go home. Anthony, you seem like a really cool dude. You say you used to play football and get your swerve on. Now that you got injured and now you want to focus on a relationship, now you're trying to pinpoint. Call some of your football friends and ask them, do they know somebody who knows somebody because you know they do, and go and get you a girl like that. This show wasn't it. Makes me think that you're a planted actor and that you're just on the show. I said a couple of episodes ago that I feel there are a lot of planted actors and that there are people that are genuinely there, ready to love, looking. I said that was Alex, Winter, Simone. I can see her acting as well, Simone. But Shay, I called that from the jump. Like, why is she always causing drama? And why is she always... I called it a long time ago. So I just think that the ones that are there really aren't clicking. And the guys that really are good catches, are they really 100% kind of getting along? It seems like they just kind of going with the flow and trying to get along with who's there. And that's not a connection to me. So let me know what you think about that. And now, the moment that we've all been waiting for Bunny to talk about Naya. Naya, girl, you showed your entire backside on this one, okay? I don't know where to begin with you because there's just so much to talk about. Like, you give me so much to go off of. Yeah. So you acted a fool in this episode. You've been acting a fool for a while. And I just want Iyanla to fix whatever is going on in your mind, in your head. I don't know where to begin with you. Let's just pick something. When you said that Edwin looks good on paper so far, really gave me, I think Denise was slightly off. Maybe you're the narcissist. Maybe you're the one that thinks you're on some planet somewhere and you, for some reasons, for somehow, have everything you need to get the best person on the planet. But in actuality, it's you, darling. The problem is you. Yeah, so I'm just trying to understand where the other half of your doula umgata, where your doula is. I'm from Texas, so I don't know what that doula called, but that part in your brain that gives you cognitive thinking, that part. I'm trying to figure out where that is. Now I understand, some people do and say things when they're embarrassed and something goes wrong. But when Chris was gone, which I really didn't like, I thought y'all, that was just infatuation. Okay, so let me talk to you like my homegirl. Okay, Chris was just an infatuation for you. Okay, I didn't like Chris from the jump. It was something about him that I didn't like, okay? And it wasn't just the open shite. It was just a lot of things that he said. Well, Naya is really not the kind of woman that I date, but I'm going to go out of my comfort zone. I was really curious to find out what was that? What was out of your zone? What was so off about Naya? Because the only thing I can think of is maybe, you like white women, you like Hispanic women, you like women with long hair. I'm trying to think of whatever's the opposite of her. We talking thickums, girl. We talking what was that? The reason why Chris said what he said, I'm gonna let you know now, girl, because he used to women paying for stuff for him. He used to that. He used to splitting. You could just tell from his energy that he was used to that. That's how he rolled. Nothing wrong with that. If people are willing to pay for it and do whatever. He already said he in radio, he don't make that much money. So how you get all them funky fresh suits? Like Pam said to Tommy, how you get all them funky fresh suits then if you ain't got no job? Girl, somebody buying all them clothes. Somebody paying for their hair to get twisted out every 2 weeks. He was not for you. And you need to fix you before you go on to another boo, because you don't know what you're doing. And I'm just really concerned about you because you seem like the type to run on the freeway going in the opposite direction and expect for no one to hit you. I'm just really, really concerned. I really want to hold your hand. I really want to just rock you and talk to you. What's wrong? Girl, you got me concerned up in here. The way you was talking to Rasheed, it's my homie. The way you was talking to him. You could say it to the couch. I was on the couch like, ah! Had me making dolphin sounds. Ah! I was just like, girl, what's wrong with you? What is good? She had such a tunnel vision and thinking, I need someone now to marry me now, make me pregnant now, and understanding needs to be now. And you did, girl, what is your list? I need to know what are your requirements. You said somebody stable. You said somebody this. You said somebody that. What's on the list? I want to know, girl. Because not to sound mean, but you've been pregnant 4 times. Okay. And I just want to know, was it with the same guy or was it with 4 different people? Because you really showing me who you really are, honey. Yeah. I really do believe that she had other boyfriends and people on the side. I do believe that. I do believe that she has other people that it might sound crazy to y'all, but I really do think that was a fact, that she had some guys on the side and she kept it to herself because she's trying to look at all the candidates. She is focused on that baby and somebody to take care of her and the baby. She's so for real about that. I think that what she said at the end when she was walking out from production, that she was for real about that. I think that is the truth. I think that she's so focused on that she has like 12 people she's talking to, and one by one she's going off of her list to get what she wants. I really honestly believe that. The fact that you talked to somebody, not that she was loyal to him, that wasn't her man, I get it, but you just flipped. Like when he said something you didn't like, you was like, oh. I mean, I can't blame you. If we dating a certain type and we're looking for a certain thing, and if we don't like it, then cool. It was infatuation. But then you went to Edwin and he was like, he's good on paper so far. She has a list. She's trying to yeah, that's just her. Let's just pray for her real quick. Woo! Y'all. And for the longest time, I kept asking myself, who does Naya look like? And I finally figured it out, y'all. She looks like Paula Kelly, the actress Paula Kelly. I was trying to figure out the eyes and the face and the cut and everything. She looks just like Paula Kelly. Let's give her some respect right now. Miss Kelly, 2-time nominated dancer, actress, phenomenal woman. As a matter of fact, she passed away earlier this year. So let's just out of respect, y'all, for such an amazing, y'all know her from many movies she had with Richard Pryor and Brewster's Place and all this wonderful stuff and musicals that she's been in. Speaking of Paula Kelly, let's just give her a moment of silence. So kudos to her. We lost many in 2020, but her face resembling her made me just want to shout her out right then. But Naya, you said, well, they not finna embarrass me. Girl, you had already embarrassed yourself several times before that. And I don't want to really dog you out. I'm just not that type of person, but you really, really need to sit down with Iyanla. And I really, really wish that I was one of the hosts or people that were on that show in that room with the women, because I think they need a woman to talk with the women and Tommy to talk with the fellas. Y'all need to tag Will Packer and tell him, hey, check out Bunny, because she be making some good points, because they really not getting to the rooter to the tutor and questions and things that they need to be doing and stuff that they need to be asking, because Joy, she needs to go. She's not really connecting with anybody. Why is Jay still there? Why is Anthony still there? Why is Brian still there? Why? Sha-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. You should have kept David. Why are those people still there? Y'all let go. Y'all let me know what you think. Hit that subscribe button. Really go off in the comments, because am I thinking wrong? Am I stinking thinking? Let me know what's going on. I've been pretty bah humbug lately, y'all. 2020 that made me mad. Every little thing, I'm like, what? Maybe I'm tripping. Am I tripping? Am I thinking wrong? Am I over judging Naya or anybody else? I just think that the people that are left there on the show, the awesome guys and the awesome women, aren't connecting. There's a lot behind production that we're not seeing. So maybe there is more of a connection and some flames going on. The only one where I watched it where I was like, woo, was Simone and Rasheed. Where I really felt the passion through the TV was Simone and Rasheed. But then again, they've only been on that one date. When it's the first date and it's kiki and all fresh and new, it'll probably look like that. So you tell me. I love y'all. Stay tuned. I do have another video that I am posting tonight. Y'all have got to watch that. It is a reaction video to something that I saw on Instagram. And I said, oh, I got to stop watching it. I got to watch the rest on Instagram, because y'all will see it in a minute. All right. Until next time, I love y'all. See y'all. Bye.